Some things we inherit can't be bought. They're carried, protected, and passed down through generations. For young Butch Coolidge, that inheritance came in the form of a simple gold watch. Sitting in a quiet room, Butch stares up at a man who's seen too much of war. Captain Coons, his father's friend, fresh out of Vietnam. Coons places the watch in his hand and says softly,
"This watch was your birthright. This was your great-grandfather's war watch, and he wore it every day he was in that war."
He tells the boy how this very watch had been through hell, surviving 2 world wars in a prison camp in Vietnam.
This watch was on your daddy's wrist when he was shot down over Hanoi.
And when the world stripped everything else away, Butch's father protected that watch with his life.
He hid it. In one place he knew he could hide something, his ass. 5 long years he wore this watch. Up his ass. He died of dysentery. He gave me the watch. I hid this uncomfortable hunk of metal up my ass 2 years.
Captain Coons looks the boy in the eyes.
"Little man, I give the watch to you."
In that moment, Butch doesn't just inherit a watch. He inherits a legacy, a symbol of loyalty, sacrifice, and pain. Sometimes, the things we carry aren't treasures, they're reminders. Reminders of what we owe and who we can never forget. And for Butch Coolidge, that watch will one day decide whether he lives or dies. But what happens when that same legacy becomes the reason your life spirals into danger? Because for Butch Coolidge, this watch, the one he swore to protect, will soon drag him back into a fight he can't escape. There's something strangely calm about 2 hitmen driving to work, talking like it's just another Tuesday. Jules Winfield and Vincent Vega sit inside a blue Chevy Nova, cruising through Los Angeles traffic on their way to do Marcellus Wallace's business. But these 2 aren't talking about guns or blood. They're talking about burgers.
You know what they call a quarter pounder with cheese in France?
Royale with cheese.
Royale with cheese. You know why they call it that?
Because of the metric system?
They laugh. Just 2 professionals warming up for a job that's about to end in blood. Vincent talks about how his boss asked him to take Mia Wallace, Marcellus's wife, out for dinner, and Jules warns him not to mess around. The mood shifts from casual to serious as they pull up to the apartment complex. They check their guns, straighten their suits. Jules glances at his watch. No rush. They're professionals. The door opens. Inside, Brett and his nervous friends are halfway through breakfast when the 2 men in black enter the room. Vincent heads for the corner, eyes on the briefcase. Jules smiles, polite but firm, like a man who already knows how the conversation ends. He questions Brett about Marcellus, about the business deal gone wrong, and the silence between each word feels like a countdown. The tension builds. Jules takes a bite of Brett's burger.
This is a tasty burger.
Then his tone drops, smooth, chilling.
You read the Bible, Brett.
Brett stammers. The air thickens. Jules steps closer, voice echoing like thunder in the small room.
The path of the righteous man is beset on all sides by the iniquities of the selfish and the tyranny of evil men. And I will strike down upon thee with great vengeance and furious anger those who attempt to poison and destroy my brothers.
He fires. The room explodes with gunshots, and the silence afterward is deafening. Then, as they prepare to leave, a man bursts out from the bathroom, firing wildly. 6 shots, point blank. Every bullet misses. Jules stares at the holes in the wall, his heart pounding. He's alive, untouched.
We should be fucking dead, my friend. What happened here was a miracle.
Vincent scoffs, calling it luck. But Jules knows better. Something happened in that room, something he can't explain. And from that moment on, his life will never be the same. After the apartment hit, Jules and Vincent drive off with Marvin, one of Brett's unlucky friends. The mood's lighter now. They just survived a miracle, and Jules can't stop talking about it. He's convinced God spared them for a reason. Vincent rolls his eyes, casual as ever. But the universe isn't done testing them. As Vincent turns to talk to Marvin, finger still on the trigger, boom, a flash, a gunshot, and Marvin's head is gone.
Oh man, I shot Marvin in the face.
Blood sprays across the car. Panic fills the silence. They stare at each other, frozen in disbelief. Now, the miracle feels more like punishment. Jules drives to the suburbs, to the home of Jimmy, an old friend played by Quentin Tarantino himself. Jimmy opens the door, jaw dropping at the sight of his blood-soaked friends.
Look, she comes home from work in about an hour and a half.
The clock starts ticking. If Bonnie finds them here, 3 men are dead, for real this time. Marcellus Wallace makes one call. Enter Winston Wolfe, the Wolf, a man who doesn't waste time explaining.
I'm Winston Wolfe. I solve problems.
Calm, commanding, precise. He orders them like soldiers on a battlefield. Clean the car, strip the clothes, wipe the blood. Use towels, not sponges. Everything is methodical. The Wolf runs the chaos like a symphony.
If I'm curt with you, it's because time is a factor.
Under pressure, Jules and Vincent work fast. They wash themselves in the backyard with a hose. Suit jackets replaced by cheap t-shirts and shorts. The image of two hitmen turned school kids. When the car's finally clean, the wolf sends it to the junkyard. Crisis averted, problem solved. But something shifts in Jules. As they sit in silence, the weight of the day finally lands. He looks at his bloody hands, the empty car, and the rising sun. He remembers the bullets that missed, the life that didn't end.
Now, whether or not what we experienced was an according to Hoyle miracle is insignificant. What is significant is I felt the touch of God. God got involved.
Vincent just shrugs, thinking about breakfast. But Jules? He's done. He's seen enough, killed enough. The miracle wasn't luck, it was a message. Some mornings feel ordinary until the universe decides to remind you who you really are. In a small diner in Los Angeles, Pumpkin and Honey Bunny sit across from each other, drinking coffee and whispering about crime like it's a love language. They've robbed liquor stores, gas stations, and banks. But today, Pumpkin has a new idea.
Nobody ever robs restaurants. Why not? Bars, liquor stores, gas stations. You get your head blown off sticking at one of them. Restaurants, on the other end, they're not expecting to get robbed. Not as expecting anyway.
Honey Bunny smiles, wild and fearless.
I love you, Pumpkin.
I love you, Honey Bunny.
They jump up from their booth, guns raised, voices shaking the quiet morning air.
Any of you fucking pricks move, and I'll execute every motherfucking last one of you!
But fate has a sense of humor, because sitting just a few tables away are Jules and Vincent. Fresh from the Bonnie situation, they're calm, eating pancakes, drinking coffee, talking about the miracle that saved their lives. Jules is done with killing. He's talking about redemption, purpose, and walking away from crime forever. Then chaos hits. Pumpkin and Honey Bunny start robbing every customer. When Pumpkin gets to Jules's table, he points his gun and finds himself looking into the eyes of a man who's already seen death and lived to tell about it. Jules moves fast, faster than fear. Gun up, voice steady.
I've been saying that shit for years. If you heard it, that meant your ass. See, now I'm thinking, maybe it means you're the evil man and I'm the righteous man.
The tension could explode at any second, but Jules doesn't pull the trigger. He talks instead, calm, measured, almost fatherly.
You're the weak and I'm the tyranny of evil men. But I'm trying, Ringo. I'm trying real hard to be the shepherd.
The diner falls silent. Honey Bunny's hands tremble. Jules lowers his gun. He lets them take the money, and more importantly, their lives. They leave crying, shaken, but alive. And Jules walks out of the diner a free man. That morning, he didn't just spare two strangers, he spared himself. Every choice has a price, and sometimes the wrong night out can cost you everything. After returning Marcellus Wallace's briefcase, Vincent Vega is handed another job, one far more dangerous than any hit. Marcellus says it simply. Take my wife out, show her a good time, and everyone knows what happens to men who touch Marcellus Wallace's wife. Before picking her up, Vincent stops by his dealer's house. He buys pure heroin from Lance, takes a hit, and sinks into a haze before heading to Mia's mansion. She greets him, barefoot, cigarette in hand, voice smooth and teasing through the intercom. They drive to Jack Rabbit Slim's, a 1950s-themed diner where waiters dress like Elvis and Marilyn Monroe. They order milkshakes that cost $5 and dance under neon lights, spinning through nostalgia and tension.
I want to dance. I want to win. I want that trophy.
It's playful, electric, and dangerous, because they both know this is crossing a line. Back at Mia's house, Vincent excuses himself to the bathroom, trying to remind himself of every reason not to make a move. Meanwhile, curiosity kills the moment. Mia finds Vincent's heroin. Thinking it's cocaine, she snorts a line. Seconds later, she's collapsing on the floor. Panic hits. Vincent rushes her to Lance's house, screaming for help. The room erupts in chaos, yelling, swearing, confusion, until finally Vincent drives the needle straight into her heart. She gasps for air. Life rushes back. Silence follows. Vincent drives her home, both of them shaken, humbled, alive. At her doorstep, she turns, still pale but calm.
I'm of the opinion that if Marcellus lived his whole life, he don't need to know nothing about this incident.
Marcellus knew about this incident. I'd be in as much trouble as you. I can keep a secret if you can.
Here is Butch Coolidge again. Marcellus Wallace pays him a fortune to throw his next fight. Take the money, go down easy, and disappear. That's the deal. But Butch? He's not built to lose. After the bribe, he steps into the ring and wins. There's only one problem. He hit the guy so hard, the man died. Butch didn't just break the deal. He double-crossed Marcellus Wallace. Now every man in Los Angeles is looking for him. Hiding in a small motel room, Butch lies beside his girlfriend, Fabienne, whispering about dreams of a new life in Mexico. But as the morning light breaks, his face hardens. Something's wrong. Fabienne forgot the one thing he swore never to lose, the gold watch. Not just any watch, a family heirloom passed down through generations. The same one Captain Coons gave him as a child, the one his father died for.
This watch was on your daddy's wrist when he was shot down over Hanoi. He hid it in one place he knew he could hide something, his ass. 5 long years he wore this watch.
For 5 years, for Butch, it's more than metal. It's legacy. Butch would rather die than leave it behind. Back to his apartment, the place Marcellus's men are probably waiting. The silence feels like a trap. Every sound, every creak, every breath, a threat. But the apartment looks empty. He breathes, relaxes, and that's when he sees it, a MAC-10 submachine gun, just sitting on the kitchen counter. He stares at it, confused, frozen, and then hears it, the toilet flush. The door opens. Out steps Vincent Vega, casual as ever, reading a book. Their eyes meet for 1 second. Then, shots fired. Vincent drops. No words, no drama, just cold death. Butch doesn't blink. He grabs the watch, breathes out. He leaves, calm. For the first time, it seems he's truly free. But fate doesn't forget. At a red light, Butch's car rolls to a stop, and across the street he locks eyes with Marcellus Wallace himself. Panic. Rage recognition. Butch slams the gas. The two crash, metal twisting, glass shattering. Marcellus fires. Butch runs. The chase leads them straight into a pawn shop, and that's where everything spirals out of control. The shop owner, Maynard, pulls a shotgun. Within seconds, both men are tied up and gagged in the basement. What happens next is darker than vengeance. Maynard and his partner Zed drag Marcellus away to rape him, and the scenes that follow are enough to freeze the soul. Butch breaks free. He could leave. He could walk away, but something in him stops. He turns back, grabs a katana hanging on the wall, and walks back into the room. One stroke, then another. Maynard falls. Zed screams. Marcellus takes the shotgun and fires, ending it.
I'm pretty fucking far from okay. I'ma get medieval on your ass.
The air goes still. Marcellus talks to Butch, the man who betrayed him, the man who saved him.
You leave town tonight. This shit is between me, you.
No grudges, no debts, just scars. Butch nods. He steps outside into the sunlight, bloodied but alive. He picks up Fabienne, mounts Zed's chopper.
Where did you get this motorcycle?
It's not a motorcycle, baby. It's a chopper. Come on.
And with the roar of the engine, they vanish into the horizon, ghosts escaping their own story. In a world ruled by greed and revenge, Butch found something rare, redemption through courage. He went back for a watch, but came out with his soul. Every life in this story spins in circles, crossing, colliding, bleeding into one another, until one truth stands out. We all live by the choices we don't see coming. So tell me, which story hit you the hardest? Was it Butch's fight for freedom, Jules's moment of faith, or Vincent's tragic arrogance? Comment below. I'd love to know which one still lingers with you, but the question still haunts everyone. What do you think was inside Marcellus Wallace's briefcase? Was it gold, cash, or something far deeper? Tell me your theory in the comments. I'm curious which one you believe. And if you enjoyed the ride, hit that like button and subscribe for more unforgettable films that change cinema forever. Don't go just yet. Watch another epic movie recap right over here.